today we're back again to share some experiences for our Something or Nothing podcast. And I think most of the people will actually know about what we're talking about. They will have experienced it themselves.
If they're in marketing.
Even if they're not in marketing, they will have somehow experienced what we are. Yeah.
I mean, like if they understand what we're gonna talk about, if they're in marketing.
Yeah, if they're in marketing, they probably know what we are talking about. But even if they're not in marketing, they will have experienced it in one way or another. Unless the only way you like can be oblivious about any of the things that we're going to talk about is if you have literally zero digital footprint. So if
you live in a cave.
Yeah, if you like if you're living somewhere remote and like you have no internet accounts, and
if you're in live in one of those like Amazon tribes,
then you will probably don't know what we're talking about. But then also you probably also not watching this video right now or listening to our podcast, because you cannot if you don't have an online account.
So since let's say I'm telling you that I want to go shopping for like a jacket, maybe like that, right? And we're talking and stuff, and then like a moment after we finish talking, and then we go back home. You go to your home, I go to my home, I go on my Facebook, and I start seeing ads about this specific jacket that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever experienced something similar to that?
Or maybe most likely,
you're texting with your friend, like on Instagram, maybe you're saying like, oh, I want to go to like a concert, on like a summer, what is it called? Summer festival somewhere, right? Specifically, let's say Pop, like in Belgium, right? Yeah, and then like an hour or later on that day, and then you start seeing ads like, I'm talking about, okay, buy the ticket 20% off, let's say, for example, or like, oh, there's 2 seats left. You're starting to do this ad.
So it is. I know what we're talking about, because what this is called is like, what do you call this thing?
Okay.
When this happens?
This happened. It's called in the marketing term. It's called
in the industry. It's called.
Yeah, it's called targeted ad. Ads. Yeah.
So like how this happens to me as well. Like I don't even talk about it. For instance, like I'm talking with my brothers, and then they mention something about like a motorcycle or whatever, and then I see ads about motorcycles. Like even like it was not me talking about it.
Yeah.
So like I experienced this like before too, like someone talking about some bathroom, anything we're talking about right now. Like I say bathroom supplies, and then I will go on my Instagram, and then I will see like things for bathrooms. So like why does this exist? Like how did this come to be? Like what is this?
You go to your friend's house, friend A, right? You go to your friend's house, and then you're telling your friend that okay, you have this amazing, let's say, what is amazing? What's something amazing about you?
About me.
Yeah, something you really pride of, and then you want to show off to your friend.
I don't know, some 3D render I make.
Just software.
Like a product, or like
it could be a product.
Like the new microphones that I bought from DJI that we're recording right now. DJI.
Okay. Please sponsor us. Okay, let's say you like this DJI mic too, and you go to your friend, and then you break it off to your friend, right? Make it offline. You're not texting on the phone or anything, right? So you're just talking offline, talking on your phone, and then your friend would be like, oh, I'm interested in buying, right? And then you go to your friend. After you leave your friend A's house, you go to friend B's house, and then it's either you telling them that you want you like this DJI, or they telling you that they want to buy DJI, but you don't know which one. But a day later, both of them seeing ads for DJI. Yeah, and you know why this happened, even though it's like offline. They're not talking to the phone, or they're not texting. It's all offline.
Yeah, it's a conversation that like you and me are having right now, and then they see ads for it. Like, why does that happen?
Yeah.
So I think how it works is like, because like me, I'm like, I bought the DJI, I looked it up and stuff, and then I go to my friend's house. So I'm in the same vicinity as my friend. So like my interests become also kind of linked with his interests because we like share the same location maybe, and we spend some time together. So like it's not something like I see him, like I walk past them and like it's not someone I know, but because we in the same area for a long time, maybe our identities get linked with each other, and then what my interests are also become linked with my friends' interests, and then what the ads I would see, then they would also see. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure.
I think what you said is right, and then there is also a term they call it too. I think you also know when you run ads, let's say on Facebook, there's a selection that they call lookalike audience, right? So you text your friend, you share some interest and stuff. So there's like a lot of algorithm and data collecting, and then they would, when they run ad, they would put lookalike audience. So your friend would have sharing similar interests or hobby and stuff, right? So that's why it shows.
Lookalike. It's called lookalike.
Lookalike audience. Yeah, you can set on Facebook too how much you want to be like. There's a percentage from 1% or 2%.
And how do you determine this lookalike audience? Like based on what?
The lookalike audience is for ads advertiser. It's based on, like, let's say you're selling a product. I would sell to you, right? You're my normal customer, and then I want people who interested in buying this too that share similarity with you. So lookalike would be lookalike to your existing audience.
So people that already buy my product, and then
they haven't bought your product, but they want people like you, like my customer. Yeah. So it could be your friends.
So I am someone that bought your product, and so your lookalike customer would be me.
Yeah, similar to you.
But people that did not buy it.
Yeah, did not buy it.
So how do they know if they bought it already or not?
I don't know. It's a lot of stuff, but there would be data collecting from your phone, from other platform that you use. There's so many data collecting.
Me personally, you can like, how do you know I'm someone that bought like your product?
I don't know about offline, but if you put everything into the system, so like your digital footprint is everywhere. Like, so if let's say you buy the product on the Facebook, right? So they already have your ID, your age, your conversation in there.
Facebook shop.
Let's say like for that, right? And then then when they run it, they would go through your friends or your family who you used to talk conversation about having the same interest in film, like DJI. So they would target those people. Yeah.
And like if they buy it from, I buy your product from your website. So like how do they know that I bought your product? Like how do they know I'm your customer?
The website, they also link with like Google Analytics. You share your data with Google and stuff, right? Google can also sell this data to other platforms, sell to Facebook can sell to them, sell to other third parties. So
like me as a developer, I know like you ask me to install like Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics on the websites, right? So that's how they collect the data, right? So because I link my website with Facebook, and I link it with Google. So when someone comes from Facebook to my website, Facebook knows, okay, they clicked on like the specific advertising that you have, and then they went to the website and then they purchased something. They know that you purchased, and they link that with your Facebook profile, right?
Yeah.
So that's how they know, and then based on that, you can create like the lookalike audiences. I assume. Right?
And also, do you like feel weird? Sometimes you would say like, how come they show me this ad? Because we talk offline, nothing digital related. Why I show? Actually, when you think about it, if we don't think like, oh, they're actually like listening to us, like eavesdropping us, then it's fine, right? If we're not talking about like your friend A and friend B, they're like seeing the same thing. If they're not discussing about it, it's fine, It doesn't feel like, oh, they like spying on me and stuff. It's just a normal ad that's showing. But if you discuss together, you're like, oh, weird. You visit me yesterday and visit you too. Why it's happening? Why are you showing the ad? They must be listening to us.
So for me, like, I do feel kind of weird and icky when I get like, when I'm talking with my friend, or like for instance with my brothers. I talk with my brothers a lot, and then after talking with them, I see like ads for baby supplies or like baby toys and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Like stuffed animals and like. but I don't have a baby, and like I'm not interested in like, okay, I will buy for my niece and nephew, but I'm not interested in like anything like baby related. So why am I getting those ads? Like
this thing, they also tracking your, because when you download the Facebook or you're using your phone right now, you like you have the option before iPhone having like an option that you share your data or not, right? But before that, you wouldn't like share to them or them. There's no a button that you can like, oh, don't share my data, right? So they're also tracking your location too, like your brother's location, like yeah. And then when he moves somewhere, and then next to you, and then you also share location as well, like your location is active. So they like combine, like saying like they would think like, okay, this guy also next to this guy, and they're related.
That's what I said, right?
Yeah. So that's about location.
Location, yeah. So yeah, so for me, I find it weird when like things like that happen. For instance, but like baby stuff, for instance, I'm not interested in those kind of things, right? And then I get advertising for it. It feels wrong to me. Like it's not the correct. I'm not the correct person to receive those kind of ads. And then I don't think it's good, and like I don't like it at all. Yeah. So also for me, it kind of like a lot of people I think experience this as well. Like we like install these apps and stuff, and like they collecting all this data about us, but we don't really know like what kind of data they are collecting and like how they are using it, and even if they like selling it to other parties, which like Facebook got caught like doing this. And then like what happens with all that data, like how much information do people know about me? Like it's even information I don't know about myself. I don't get to see those.
They know you more than you know yourself.
Yeah, so like it's weird that we don't really have insight into our own data actually.
But I mean, when you sign up to download the apps, it's already listed in the terms and conditions that you willingly sharing your data to them to use whatever they want.
Yeah, I do agree. Like
But since like iPhone have this feature that you can turn it off, it's making them like very difficult. So your like the targeting ads will be more difficult. That's why you see some irrelevant ads, right? Because there lacks of data sharing. That's also it's also difficult for advertiser as well.
I mean, yeah, I think like in Europe, there's a big push I get like for privacy, with the GDPR and like stuff like that. So right now you can actually get insights into your own data, like because the European Union is kind of pushing for like these big corporations to give you access to all the data. So like for instance, you can actually, did you know you can look up on Google like all your data? You can request all your data, and then they are like required by law now to actually give you the data that you request.
Really?
And then you can also, like, if you Google yourself, you will find yourself on Google, right? You can actually tell Google like I don't want any of this data to be visible, and you can request for your data to be deleted. And yeah, like Spotify also, I was curious, like when did I actually sign up for Spotify, and then I requested my data, and then they also sent all the data that they have about me. Well, you can like select what kind of data you want, and then they collect all that data, and then they send it to you, and then you can view like the data that these corporations have on you. Did you know that?
I know about like requesting, but I don't know specifically like how much data you can request it from them. But it's a good information. But like you said, like I don't think a lot of people know about this.
Yeah, I don't think I know a lot of people know that Facebook is collecting your data. I think everybody knows that, but
almost apps, no, they're collecting your data.
Yeah, for sure. Like because without data collection, you cannot know like how to personalize, and like improve your application and stuff. So like for instance, you need to collect data to know like how often does the app crash, or like what kind of things people are interested in. Like all those algorithms that like on Instagram, Facebook, they need to know like what to show you, and the only way they can do that is if they know who you are and what you like.
But yeah, talking about that, it's like a pros and cons. If you like using the data wisely, well, not in a wrong way, then it's good for the consumers or users. But if you sell the data or using the data like not in the right way, then it's danger. for the user.
I seen a couple people actually mention this. You know, like Facebook is free, right? And Google is free, right? So what is it? How do they make money? Like, how does Facebook and Google make money if it's like a free platform for like billions of people to use?
They're selling data.
Yeah, so we are the users of the platform are the product, right? They're selling our data, so that's how they make money, right? So we are the product of those organizations. It's not the platform. The platform is not the product. Like, yeah, all the data that they collect from the people is the product.
But there is also set in the rule, like for example, Facebook, you cannot, when you run an ad, you cannot set specific, specific
demographic.
Yeah, or something like that. You cannot choose.
But they ask you to specify the audience.
There is like gender. You can choose male or female or both, and then the age gap. But I don't think you can like go into specific like what type of jobs they do. Like you can be like interested in like media and stuff, but like specific secretariat or like
CEOs or
something like that, or very specific thing of a person, because they don't want you. Yes, this is their limit.
What about like I see Facebook. I see Facebook now. They do like this performance max thing. Like they
Facebook.
Yeah, and the Google. I mean, they do like this performance max like thing where you don't even need to touch anything about the like audience and stuff, right? Because Google determines what's the best audience for you. So like, how does that work? Do you know?
Oh, the performance max thing. At the end, you can also choose interest too, and the audience as well. So you have option to choose that.
And if you don't choose anything, then
it's fine. It's like trying to figure out the best audience for you. Yeah, for your products or services.
So you mentioned earlier, like if you use it good, it can be like beneficial, but if you use it bad, it can be negative, right? And can you elaborate on how to use it badly?
It's like one of the stuff I just mentioned earlier about Facebook thing. If like you said, if you allow advertisers to target like specific audience that they want to target, okay, age 25 years old, working in this industry at this job position, it's like you spying on that one person or like a group of people. It's like you spying on them, and it's not it's creepy because like where they live, what house, and their age, their family, that's too specific, right? It's if they allow them to do that, then some people would use this platform to spying on them or like creating an ads to like target them. And also, if they sell this data to the wrong entity, they can also corrupt the data. And then like I saw this new. They're talking about like people would go to your house and stuff to find you because of the data you have, your phone number, everything, trying to contact you for scam, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, it's also happened if you share your data online too. You openly share your data online because, like you said, like once you share online, it's not gonna be there. It's your digital footprint. It's not gonna be erased.
I mean, now you have options and tools to remove. But I mean, yeah, if it's like a business that's like does not care about you, like scammers, for instance, they set up a lot of websites to just collect data, right? And then once they have the data and it goes on like the black market, it's almost impossible to get rid of it. So, do you know the black market, the online black market?
What do you mean?
It's like where like hackers go to like exchange like credit card informations of like people that they scam.
I've never seen it physically. I don't know what it looks like, but yeah, of course I heard about it.
It's digital. Yeah, it's online, right?
Yeah, I mean like seeing with my own eyes.
Yeah. So if your data ends up on like those kind of like platforms, then
you'll be fucked.
I mean, it's a very big issue for you.
So limit your digital footprint.
So how do we do that? Like, how can we make sure that like these our data is not being shared, and like we don't end up in those, like, what can we do to
I know
prevent?
if you use iPhone, you have an option, right, to turn off your data sharing.
But if you don't have an iPhone, like, what do you do? So do you need to go and live in a cabin somewhere in the
No.
woods, or like what do you do?
Like let's say when you want to search something, you go incognito, incognito. You know, so they cannot track your footprint. They cannot track where you are.
But when you do incognito on Google, it says like your ISP.
Really?
Yeah, they can still track you.
Track you,
You
but
don't
cannot
have
share your data.
cookies. Your cookies are like not in it, so like it's a bit more difficult for like Facebook or like.
Or you can use ad blocker. No, I'm talking about this is about like ads, not about like the data sharing though. But it's it's
But
related.
I don't like. Let's say I don't want targeted ads, right? I don't want like we talk about gardening, right? And but I don't want any ads.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I just said. Like incognito, or turn off the data sharing on your phone, or like use ad blocker. It cannot track you.
But like we
Turn
mentioned
off your
earlier,
location.
like if we in like the same vicinity,
Turn off your location. Yeah, because in every app they will ask you like to always share your location, or like never, or like only when you're using it. You know. But when sometimes I'm just like lazy, I just turn it on always.
So let's say I don't want like my location data to be tracked, right? But I do want to use Google Maps. So like how does that work then? Because for Google Maps they need to know my location, right?
Yeah, but if you want to go somewhere, you can just download your Google Apps offline first, and then when you go, you just turn off offline and you can go. No. Or you have anything else that you already know but you want, you just pretend to ask me.
No, I don't know. Like I think it's kind of difficult. They give you the option to not share your data, but then when you want to use their services, you do need to share your data. So like it's kind of go against each other. So how do I? So if I want to use Google Maps, then I need to like share my location data, and then after I use it, I need to go to Google, request my data, submit for removal, and then I need to do that every time I use Google Maps. Then
they make it difficult for you. That's why you have to always share it with them. It's tricky. But I mean, if you don't want that thing at all, then don't touch anything digital, because if you touch it, your information will be there.
So okay, for us then, like we in the digital, we work in the digital area. So like, how do we utilize all this data? Like, what do we do with it? How do we use it?
What do you mean, how do you use it? As an advertiser?
I mean,
you use it to like learn about your audience. So you better target it, like better sell your product first thing. If you were a seller, you sell to the right audience, right? And then your audience, from you as a consumer, you get the thing that you actually want. If like enough data being shared.
So how do you go about like reading this data, and where can you find this data? Like how do you how do you customize your ads then, like based on, I mean, we're talking about like a lot of data being collected and stuff, right? And me as an advertiser, I want to be able to see like the data, so I can improve like my approach, right? So I can make my targeting better, and I can go to the correct people. So like, how do you go about, like, where do you go? What do you do? How does it work? Can you elaborate on that?
Before you trying to run an ad, you will already have an idea who's your audience look like, like your market research and stuff. And also you can look at your competitors too. Since it's your competitors, they would likely to share similar audience to you, right?
How do I find my competitors' audiences?
I mean, you know already.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I want to make it
on Facebook. There's like a Facebook ads library that you can spy it on your competitors. You type it in, then you would know like all the ads that being run, or like previously run before. Like you would know, like, and there is a timeline saying like, oh, start from when, and end from when, or it's like start from when and it still continue, then you know that, okay, this ad is doing a great job. That's why they keep it running, right? And for Google, you can go to ad transparency that you can track.
I don't.
You you can track. But other platform, TikTok, they have two. They have, is it creator space or marketplace? I forgot the name. That you can also see ads too.
Of your competitors, like, but you need to know who your competitors are first, right?
Yeah. But all of that you need to know who they are. But before you're running your business, you probably already have at least 3.
So like those like, you know, you mentioned like for Facebook and Google, they show you the audience that they are targeting, or they just show you the ads that they are making.
Showing the ads only.
So you don't know like the.
Okay, let's say you saw an ads on Facebook, something like that, right? And then you click on like 3-dot button, and then there was a question like asking why I'm seeing this ad. You click on that, they were showing you, because you speak English, or because you live in Cambodia, because you tends to like shopping online and stuff. They will list on not in details, but give you a sense of ideas that why you're being targeted for this ad.
But let's say my competitor, like I'm not the target audience for them, so I will not see their ads, right?
Competitor.
Yeah, so like my competitor is running ads and they're targeting like a specific audience, but I'm not part of that audience, so I don't see my competitors' ads. So like how can I like know?
Yeah, you go to that ads library thing.
But they don't. So you can click on the 3 dots there as well, or?
I never click on that, but no. Oh, wait, I forgot about it. If you can see or not.
I don't know. I don't know either. Like,
because I never.
Because this is the information you need if you want to target those same people, right? I want to target similar people because they're my audience, but like I can.
Let me quickly check it.
I know you can see the ads, but I don't think they share like the information about how those ads are being shown to which audience, because that's something you need to figure out on your own, like as an advertiser.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of difficult then for you to figure out.
It's not easy. That's why like a profession of like marketing research or like market research exists for that position, because I don't think that market research you needs to do like in 1 day or 2 days. It takes time to understand your audience better. Who's our competitor?
I don't want to say.
Yeah. Who's competitor on our podcast?
On a podcast, I don't know.
Not Logan Paul.
It's the one I'm thinking of.
The big of audience.
Impulsive podcast.
Impulsive. Yeah. And
I don't know. I cannot.
Okay, let's check.
But I don't think they run any ads, so I don't think you're gonna. I'm not sure. They might. He might have like ads for Prime though. You cannot see the audience, right?
No, you cannot. Oh.
So.
No, you can only see like when it started, which platform they promote it on. That's it. But I think there would be like a third-party app, third-party like what is it called? HubSpot.
Hotjar or HubSpot.
Yeah, HubSpot or SEMrush.
SEMrush, yeah.
Something like that. That third party, you need to pay them, and then you know your competitor
and the audiences they target.
Yeah. So those things. If that answer you.
So those platforms also collecting data, and then.
Yeah, they most likely they buy data. They're collecting themselves too. And that's why they create a platform for you to like buy the subscription, and I never use SEMrush or HubSpot.
Really?
No, I did use. Was it SEMrush or HubSpot? But I'm not like totally familiar with all their feature. No, I actually used it before. Yeah. Have you ever used one of them?
No. Me personally, I did not. I did help some like configuration, like like a marketing department. They needed some configuration, and then I helped them with that. But it's just following like a guide that like SEMrush sent out. So it's I don't really use it, but.
Okay, so we talk about like the good stuff, everything in general about um, like targeted ads, you think you support it to exist, or you say it's too creepy, you don't want it anymore, or you don't want it to exist?
So the other approach, like besides targeted ads, is like, you make billboards, or you make like these big flashy things that you hang up somewhere, or you run commercials on TV, right? But making a commercial for TV, it's inaccessible for like the majority of people, right?
Very expensive too.
Yeah, and creating like big billboards, or like making like a million posters to hang like on places and stuff, also like becomes very expensive. But doing like ads on like social platforms like Facebook, or running ads with Google, is very accessible. Like it's very cheap for like small business owners to like get people to notice their brand or business. So in my opinion, I am like a proponent, because it gives a lot of businesses the opportunity to target the correct people in an affordable way to like grow their business, right? Otherwise, you need to have like this huge investment up front, and you don't even know like who is like you need to like figure out who the audience is, what time to show, where to put up the posters, you know. Even like you have to spend a lot of time on like the digital side of things as well. But I do think it's like way more accessible, and if done correctly, then you can get a lot out of it as well. Even though the businesses that run ads on like TV, they also run on like social media platforms as well, right?
Nowadays, if you only focus on like the traditional offline, you're not gonna sustain long.
But I do think maybe like ads are a way to boost your business, but I don't think it should be like the only thing that you do. It should be like an extra thing to help you like grow rapidly. But your primary thing, I think, using like online platforms, should be like creating content that's like engaging and like insightful or funny, to get people to recognize you. I think that's a better approach for businesses to do than like pushing ads constantly. Like I get ads for like mobile games like all the time, and it's like the same ad like over and over again. Or like on YouTube, I get the same ad from like Envato Elements. Like I get this. Okay, I'm the correct audience. I'm like a creator. I'm like a designer. So I am the correct audience for it, but I'm not interested in it, and I already clicked many times to skip it over, but I still keep getting it over and over and again. So it kind of gets frustrating at a point. Like that's, I think, is a bad approach when you showing the same ad to people like over and over and over again. It's like shoving it down your throat. I don't think that's the correct approach.
This is ad fatigue, they call it.
Say again?
Ad fatigue.
Ad fatigue, yeah.
Yeah, that's, you keep seeing that. That's why it's one of the best practices is you need to set a cap on the frequency. Like how many times you want the ads showing to the target audience.
So I sometimes see like ads from businesses that's very unique and like funny and engaging, and I watch the entire ad, and maybe it convinces me to buy, and maybe not. But like if I see the same ad, like you make a funny ad and you keep showing it to me like 1,000 times, I will not like your brand. I will start hating your brand. So no, like I don't want to hate on Envato Elements, but I mean, chill a bit, you know.
Yeah. They should, when like the audience getting like an ad fatigue, they should refresh on their brand asset already. So they switch up different creative asset, so it's not boring. And another one is you can also run like brand lift or conversion lift to understand like how much the ads make your audience remember you, and how much of them like convert and stuff. So you don't just keep on pushing and pushing. But on top of that, if you want to do like this, of course you need to like spend some money on it, and also working like with professional to better execute it. Yeah.
Is this like a full-time job thing, like running ads on?
Yeah, this is. It sounds familiar. You just like, oh, you're just running a few ads and then you sit down and stuff. But if you're like a professional, and you actually doing the job right, you need to constantly keeping up with the trends, understand the market, do some regular brand, like changing your creative asset.
How often do you think, like, in general, like how often you need to like change your asset?
I don't really have
You should look at the
a specific.
You should look at the statistics, right? Or like the metrics that you mentioned earlier.
Yes, that's why. That's why you need to do this thing, and then it's also. But if you like showing all the time, like if it
Envato element.
Envato element like that, and it's really annoying. Right now, I'm seeing one ad. It's called M something. It's about Instagram thing. I forgot the name. But if I see the logo, I remember. They're like, oh my god, they're like haunting me all the time.
I mean,
What?
we also had like this issue as well. Like it
Yeah,
happened to us as well.
we do.
We had like an ad running, and then a couple people mentioned like they see the same ad like over and over again. So like I think this is something to be aware of, that you know people can get frustrated, you know, get ad fatigue, and then you should have like multiple like different assets set up, so like changes, and then you can avoid kind of this negative look on your business as well. So there is a lot of things I think that go into like these targeted ads. It's not just, you know, you do a couple it does make everything more accessible. But there are like a lot of guidelines as well. You know, Facebook has their community guidelines. If you violate them, they can actually ban you from running ads on Facebook. Google has similar guidelines where, you know, you need to follow. You cannot, you know, promote violence. You cannot, you know, show nudity, and you know, some topics are like prohibited. Like for instance, alcohol, like ads for alcohol in like a lot of countries, it's like prohibited. So you cannot run the ads for that. So you need to follow those guidelines, and you need to be aware of those as well. So it is more accessible. It's easier to get like set up and running than doing like a TV ad, for instance. But there is a lot of things you need to pay attention to as well, right?
Yeah, have you ever had experience that you fucked up with the ad, and then it's like fucked up your whole account and stuff?
I do actually have experience with this. That's why I know about like all of those things. So like I did make the mistake of creating assets that were kind of in violation with the guidelines. And like Facebook notified us that they are in violation. But I kept pushing on it, and I kept running like those things, and then the account got flagged. And
but hold on, was it like your intention to keep on running, or you thought like, oh, it's just a scam?
No, I thought like there was a mistake with like the way they flagged the content, because I did not see anything wrong with it. Like, but after reviewing the guidelines, I noticed, okay, this can be like the issue with it, because they don't like safeguard their process of flagging. They don't actually tell you like what is wrong with the ad. So because if they tell you what is wrong with the ad, like people that want to circumvent the system, they can like, you know, manipulate so that it's not get flagged. So they don't come forward and like tell you, okay, this is wrong, you need to change that. So I had to go into like the guidelines and go like over every single item, and then I like check if it's violate that rule or not. And then I finally figured out like I had some elements in my creatives that look like buttons. But there are no buttons in images, like when you're running ads, right? Yeah. So I this is my assumption. I did not get verified. Like I don't know that this is not verified information, but I believe that's why the creatives got flagged, and then the account eventually got like banned from doing advertising. So like this happened, and it's my mistake. I was not an expert, you know. So like I have you now as my expert. So I believe that will never happen ever again.
Of course, the button part never happened, but you know, there's so many stuff you need to learn. Like they constantly changing their guidelines and stuff, so you need to like keep up.
Yeah. So like you said, it's a full-time job, right? You need to like yeah.
But I want to give a message to like people who like business owners. especially you are a startup or you're just starting your business, you're still small and stuff. You're not working with a professional advertiser and stuff. You have to do everything on your own. So make sure, because if you sell something online, so you're on like your account will be your shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So be careful with that guideline thing. Follow them. Don't do something that you're not unsure and then keep pushing. You will risk losing your account as if you're losing your own business. It's difficult to like
so
getting in touch with them too.
So like if this is your digital profile, right? And then if it gets like flagged and you get banned on some things, it will like negatively influence like how you can run your business. Like for instance, Google My Business is like very important as well, and like it's very easy to get flagged on it as well.
Don't try to do something stupid and then trick them. Okay, they know everything. Right now they're getting smarter and smarter because of the AI thing they implement.
But they already like Google like.
No, they're getting smarter and smarter. They know like the tricks we trying to like trick them, and then they learn.
Like AI is not something new for Google. They have had it for like many years already. Like
but it's improving.
Google, Google search already had like an algorithm. It's also an AI. So it is improving. Like they're getting
improving. I know they're already happening. So yep. So
be careful online.
So be careful.
Be careful how you share your data, and be careful how you also use data and how you try to, make use of it and share your product and stuff like that. So be careful. That's the information. I think there are a lot of scammers online too, and be careful. Where you input your data. Like don't go and like. If something is too good to be true, usually it is. It is. It's not real. It's like a scam. So be careful. Don't give your information easily.
Oh, talking about scam online. I have a question for you. Let's say they send us a link and then we click the link, but we're not doing anything else. Does it can actually steal your data?
There are some tools that can actually collect data
by just clicking on the link.
Just by clicking on the link as well.
But how is that so powerful? How is the process?
So there are some platforms. They have like some vulnerability that, for instance, they store some cookie on your browser, right? And in the cookie they have like a secret key that they put in the cookie. But it's like a security issue from that platform. But because they put it in your cookie, the website that you visit, they can read out that cookie, and then they can get that secret key, and then they can log into your account using that secret key. Just because you visited their website, they can collect that data. So it can happen. Like it's not a lot. It does not happen a lot because like big organizations, they know about these vulnerabilities. And there are like some good hackers that like are looking for those vulnerabilities, and then they share with the businesses, and then they can mitigate that. They can improve it, but it can happen. So like be careful like on the links that you click as well. And
exactly.
Yeah, and like new vulnerabilities they come up all the time too. So like Firebase recently had like a big leak as well. It's a big Google product,
and then I heard about that.
And then they had like a leak with authentication, and then a lot of people's information got like, compromised. So
I see. Okay, so we've been talking for almost an hour already. I hope this episode, gave you some insights regarding targeted ads. So hopefully you learn it, and then you learn from some of the best practices that we share with you. Some of the platform, you can go check your competitors, right? Use it wisely, and then be careful again with your digital footprint. Right?
Yeah, be careful. This is the biggest message I think we can share. And then, don't be too
generous.
Don't be generous about your data, but also don't be scared about getting like targeted ads. The main goal of targeted ads is to give you like things that are relevant to you. A lot of businesses, maybe they don't do it correctly, or they like abuse the system, but the general idea of targeted ads is actually to be more personalized for your experience.
Okay, that's all for today. Hope to see you guys back next episode. Bye bye.